Lazy takes the one-timer. That plane does turn aside. Enchanted off the sidewall. Sets up Knight for a shot, but Purdue is completely back in defense here. UNC still have to do a little bit more than that if they want to break through. A Rule 1's been broken in the corner. And with 30 seconds left, we'll see if the karma comes back to bite Purdue.
Yeah, breaking the Rule 1 in the corner when you're up a goal, you know, the karma's not going to love that one.
Nope.
As Knight now offensively is going to beat one. Enchanted off the side. Clears it for now. And Lazy in the middle, he realizes things are awkward. Unfortunately, Ryan is able to recover with no boost to his name, but this one flies middle. There's so little time left off the crossbar. Meets him in the midfield. It's looking like Purdue might be able to stave off the attack, but one more attempt goes a little too haywire, and that is a second game going the way of Purdue in a row. Well done from them.
And Coolio noting in chat that the Rule 1 was broken. Let the jury show, or let the record show rather, that the Rule 1 was broken in the corner. Doesn't affect Purdue's karma here in the corner, or here in the game, but we'll see if that goes forward. Because, I mean, Ryan embraces the cringe for a moment. Chanted believes in the karma. It's interesting to see how players take those Rule 1 breaks.
It feels like they didn't take him very well, considering the fact that they were still able to take that game free. And you know what? Another excellent game. I love the signs of life that UNC Charlotte was showing. I feel like that is a great sign for this series going forward, because I was worried after that game, after the start of that game, how strong Purdue was, that they had kind of found their footing and were ready to run with the rest of the series their way. But UNC Charlotte not going to take that one laying down, and now they need to prove it by taking another game back their way.
Right now, it feels like the name of the game in this series is just creativity in offense. Because there have been the occasional defensive mistakes to try and exploit the bad touches that give rebound opportunities to your opponent. But it comes down to creative setups. And right here, it was two Purdue players coming down the sideline into Enchanted, just using pure speed to get that ball center and force Knight to touch that ball awkwardly. That's a great transition by Purdue, flexing their counterattack might.
Absolutely, and coming off the back of speed yet again is Purdue's offensive opportunities. And that has been the name of the game all throughout this series so far. And here we go again, but this time slowing things down to a halt. He's trying to get that double tap through. But to no avail. That's a great 50 from Plane. Unfortunately, he's got nothing here going for him in the midfield in terms of boost. That's a great infield pass. Enchanted just a little behind it. And so far, Purdue once again, in the first minute of each game, they have looked like unstoppable offensively.
It's just they gain control so quickly off of the first couple of kickoffs, and then they look unstoppable, but then towards the end of the game it starts to slip, where UNC Charlotte's allowed to operate their offense just a little bit more, and they're creative enough, I feel, to break through Purdue's solid defense. And it's been kind of the makeup of at least like Game 1 and Game 3 in this series so far. Game 2 was a little more Purdue controlled, but regardless, right now we are in that Purdue control phase, so we'll see if this game mirrors Games 1 and 3 a little more, if it's more like Game 2, as UNC see allowed an out, but right now Enchanted has a ton of space to take that all away.
Feels like ever since that first goal, Purdue has been in control, but having a harder time finding the boosts around the map. These big touches from UNC Charlotte have been working very well, and then being able to reset their defensive rotations, and eventually might lead to something like this, where they have a bit more offensive freedom. Ryan just not leaving that ball like he is glued to the back of it in the midfield, giving his teammates so much time to try and line up a big clear, but that touch is not great. And Coolio off the top is going to score the goal for UNC Charlotte. That gets it back to even.
Awkward touch by Plane. Enchanted, okay, goes for more of the deft touch, creative stuff in the midfield. And I don't think that's at all what he was trying to do with the ball. There was no one back after he committed for it. And so UNCC kind of got gifted a goal right there. So they'll take that, I'm sure. Purdue, though, a nice response. Oh, the ticky-tack passing play and offense puts them right back out in front.
Yeah, just off the kickoffs, just yet again, man. They're all the way in that. He's already on the back wall when he's receiving that pass, not 5 seconds after the kickoff is hit in the midfield, and that's a great pass to see his teammate there. And as far as Purdue's responses have gone through the series, they have been answering every goal, basically. And once again, off the kickoff in this UNC Charlotte half, so aggressive. At least he gets the player out of the game there for Lazy. That's a great start to a defensive clearance. Another great bump. Now Lazy's got something here in the midair. Tries to beat one. Plane's going to get to the ball just as he lets it off the top of his car. And Coolio with the pop-up leads to some more aerial attempts from Ryan.
That's what Purdue's going for at the moment, flexing that aerial might. The pop-up there, going to put Plane right back into the aerospace. A double off the sidewall, though, keeps Purdue's offense on the field. Coolio trying to change that. Sends the ball down the night, says, go fetch, Knights. And he fetches, sets up Coolio for a shot. But Plane back in the nick of time, saves Purdue from conceding. And Ryan pressuring the near side, but Lazy does well to find Knight for a shot. And that one again, just short of being on target. A little bit too slow. As Plane gets back, can't find that second touch he was looking for off the side wall. But still, Purdue does not let UNCC set up their offense in that blue end.
Yeah, great midfield play from them to just slow down that offense from UNCC and grind things back to a halt. And then when the ball starts to get in these popped-up areas, they've been so quick to basically go get it at the highest point. And Lazy now is going to do the same thing, trying to rotate from defense to offense, but Purdue just not letting it happen. But a demo comes through this time from Purdue, which leads this clearance to happen, and Lazy, a great touch to get it back to himself. But this time, the Purdue boys getting a bit more aggressive with the demos in an attempt just to halt the UNC Charlotte offense. Now Plane's got a shot. He's got to beat Knight off the near post, but that's a great read.
That was a tough read to make, but they made it. And UNCC allowed a shot on, but Purdue, they're defending well in transition. Aren't giving any more gifts over towards the Niners. Instead, it's Enchanted with 12 boost. Trying to play the role of the Grinch, setting up Ryan for a potential insurance goal in the final minute. But he is denied once again by UNCC on their goal line. That shot from Enchanted, though, an absolute sledgehammer. And the brick wall defense UNCC was playing just disintegrates. Beauty from Enchanted to put Purdue up by 2.
Wow, that speed off of the backboard was the name of the game there. That was an incredibly fast shot to catch Lazy out in the near post. I mean, he was in a position that maybe was savable, but off the... I'm interrupting myself because there's a bit of offensive pressure from UNCC off the kickoff, and they're trying to keep it up. Lazy with a crazy creative touch to get around one. They need a goal right now if it's going to be a comeback in game number 4.
Yeah,
but every time it's in the air in front of their net, Purdue just does not let anything go through their airspace. But like I say, Lazy off the sidewall is going to put one in with 11 seconds left. This is not out of the realm of possibility.
It's so funny, that point you just made where when UNCC just puts a shot on target from the air on the Purdue net, like, it's typically saved. But then the one time you say it, they're not there. I don't know what happened to Purdue defense right there, but they've just given UNCC an in to the end of this game. And Coolio's on the ball, off the ceiling, setting up his teammates to let the ball go between them and give Purdue almost a free win. That's a fourth. I don't know what UNCC just did right there. Like, I thought they were going to have a great chance at a 0-second play, but instead they just gave that away to Purdue.
Oh man, that's so heartbreaking, because as soon as I saw Coolio take that touch off the corner seam in the roof, and I saw where his teammates were positioned, I was like, oh wow, they have both players on the same side ready to make a run at net here, but it just falls between them awkwardly. And it looked like a product of maybe Knight's boost counter. I couldn't quite tell if exactly what happened there, but that's a very anticlimactic way to end game 4 as Purdue is taking the series, man. At this point, they just look so solid.
They do. I mean, their offensive numbers kind of speak for themselves. In the games they've won, they've put up 12 shots, 9 shots, 14 shots, and a total of 10 goals on all of those attempts on the UNCC net. Their offense has looked very good, and their defense has made some blunders, but for the most part, they have looked solid enough in defense to let their offense do the talking when it comes to the end of these games. UNCC, it feels like they have to find a way to stop those highly mechanical, high-speed counterattacks that the Boilermakers have been using a lot of the time to find their goals in this series, which is a lot easier said than done, but they got to do it now for 3 straight games.
Yeah, and I guess now my initial question is, can Plane do it in the Jeep Wrangler? Because I did see the car switch come out for him. It looks like that's a bit of a byproduct of how comfortable Purdue's been looking since game 1. I mean, even in game 1, they were still able to create those same offensive numbers like you were saying. and they just kind of lose it in OT. But their responses to every time Charlotte has had pressured their way has been just by answering it with nearly an immediate goal each time. They have looked so confident off of the back of even taking like a tied game at any point. And every game so far, they've been able to answer first, so it's not like they've even really been playing from behind.
That's been the case, honestly. Purdue, when they do go from behind, it's not very long. They usually answer very quickly. But that Jeep Wrangler point is a good one to make. I'm interested to see how Plane plays with it, and we'll find out later, because that play was straight up just Ryan taking over in the corner. Beat Lazy once, and then beat Lazy twice to give Purdue the first blood in Game 5.
Such a tough spot for Lazy, because you saw the way Ryan was taking that 50. He was winning it.
Yep.
In any stretch of the imagination, he was on top of the ball with full boost. He's got that 51, but you know, Lazy's just got to bet on he can beat him back to the ball, and Ryan understood that that was the only way that he was going to be able to score that. And just so fast are these Purdue boys. They've looked so good mechanically at the level of speed they're playing at, and no different from any other game in the series so far. Purdue strikes first blood. It's all going to be about the UNC Charlotte response yet again, and that's a fantastic pass from Lazy, leading to Knight answering 1-1 with only a minute 20 off the clock.
Lazy says, you want a response? I'll show you a response. That is a dime down to Knight, who hits the shot, but that pass is what enables him to equalize the game right there. That was a pretty play out of UNCC, and if their offense is operating like that, creating plays like that, going forward, we could be in for a great showing in Game 5.
Yeah, that is definitely a good sign of response. The response coming this quickly into the game for UNC Charlotte leaves them a lot of time to flex that creative offense, and Knight's able to take this ball pretty much the entire length of the field, leaving Coolio in front of net. But still some work to do as all the Purdue players are back and in a comfortable spot.
Plane popping this up to himself, using all that Jeep Wrangler's might to put a shot on. He does save it. Finds a block on Ryan's attempt at a near side touch. Chance dropping that down for Plane. A little stutter step to get himself space. Off the back wall, Plane puts it home. What a transition, starting with a little hezzy right there. That was pretty.
Man, and this car looks like it is more affected by gravity when it's flying. That is still a ridiculous goal to score with the Jeep Wrangler. And a great, once again, in the midfield, not letting UNC convert their defense into offense, is Enchanted just flying up and stopping the ball in its tracks. And that time, Plane read him perfectly, finding a fantastic double tap goal to take the game back into Purdue's hands.
Enchanted, though, with Plane at his side, was looking to move forward. Ryan did hold back, though, as UNCC found a nice 50 on their initial challenge. Lazy from his goal line, trying to flip the field. A full possession battle being invoked at the halfway point of Game 5. UNCC really needing to be the team that comes out on top of it, being down in a must-win game for them in this best-of-5. Must they be down 4-1 by Purdue, who I feel were the favorites by a slim margin coming into this series, and then they've looked the part in a couple of close games, but UNCC I know can make a run here at the end of this series. They just have to get their offense going a little bit more, and it starts with the passing plays. That one denied by Ryan on the goal line, though.
I mean, right now it kind of feels like we're settled in. The offensive rotation from UNC Charlotte this time feels like they've locked Purdue in a bit of a boost slump right now, and Coolio just kind of flying from goal line to goal line, just causing so much problems for this Purdue defense. And that goal almost is going to come through on the near post from Knight, and instead it's maybe the first breakdown of this great offensive rotation for now. But Lazy, though, not going to let things go so easily. That's a fantastic touch, and a basically unintentional double tap from Plane leads to the response from UNC Charlotte to even things back up. Wow, what a touch.
No kidding. And what an accidental double tap as well. That is a difficult shot to hit, no matter which side of the field you're on. All right, weird second goal, but UNCC absolutely will take that. And now they're looking for more. Lazy and Knight again combined for a passing play in the infield, but this time Enchanted has it read. Julio Pludio off the side wall, has that touch intercepted by Ryan. And in a tied game, Purdue looking for another go-ahead goal, which They're not going to find there as UNCC find a save and break out.
Yeah, Ryan doing so much correct there to get that ball in front of net. Unfortunately, just no one quite ready to receive from Purdue this time. Might be a little bit of a different story. But Ryan not really being able to find his way back to that center pass. Instead, though, the UNC Charlotte offense has a bit to say on the counterattack, but Purdue doing a great job of disrupting everything. Enchanted rips a shot on target. Knight with the save as Ryan pops one back towards net. Good touch from Lazy to slow things down for now. Wow, things getting a little chippy towards both goals with the score still tied even. Like you said, there's a bit of a blunder of a touch there, not really leading to much, but instead could see some UNC Charlotte towards the last half of this game. Knight just a bit too strong, but he does beat the player.
All right, Lazy, and what do you have for us in the corner? Not much. Enchanted shuts him down. Knight now looking for a bump, finds a good touch center plane. It's to recover slowly, fakes the last man, gives Lazy an opportunity to win Game 5 at the buzzer. He was awkward in that Jeep Wrangler, thought Coolio Pludio was touching it. He wasn't. Lazy given an open net at 0 seconds. Game 5 goes the Niners' way.
There's been a lot of words I've used to describe UNC Charlotte's offense through these games, and the one that rings true at the end of this game is one that we've been harping on, is composure. That is a ridiculous last-second goal to realize, in Lazy's shoes, to realize that no one was going to touch that. Coolio putting enough pressure there to make playing think twice, and it's just going to fall into the hands of UNC Charlotte. And both of the games they've taken in the series have come off the back of these huge composure moments, not to mention the goal that made it into overtime in Game 1 was pretty much last second as well. So great stuff from UNC Charlotte to not say die in this series. Their series life was on the line, and they made it count.
It's a nice play to make up for their 0-second attempt in the last game as well, because like that Game 4 0-second play was not it for UNCC, but that was much better. I don't know if that fake was intentional out of Coolio, recognizing that plane was going for the block rather than the straight up hit the ball at the point of contact type of play. But either way, it works out for UNCC. They capitalize on an awkward Purdue defense, and they stay alive a little bit longer in this show match. But now we get to see the response from Purdue, and typically their responses have been very good in this series. Even when they drop Game 1, they rattle off 3 straight games. When they drop a goal, they usually rattle off a couple of consecutive scores. So now, moving into Game 6, Brody, we get to see what the Boilermakers do here.
Yep, and we get to see another car from Plain. As this game, he is in the Esper, which I'm glad you said it, because I don't remember what that car is called at all. So we're going to see a bit of a car roulette gameplay from Plain so far. But like you said, response has been the name of the game. And if I have to guess, Purdue's response is going to be positive. But there's no way. Lazy just not able to score on the near post after a double demo play from Knight. I was going to say UNC Charlotte needs to make sure that they start this game with some great momentum, and I thought the double demo play was a perfect way to start it off, but Lazy just could not convert. That is so unfortunate. And now Purdue, the door is open for them to continue their early game dominance.
Okay, that Esper, I mean, it's got the Octane hitbox, so in theory it should be the same. I was an Esper main back in my Platinum days, but I don't know if I can play it anymore. So I'm impressed that Plane is still flexing the off-meta car gameplay here in Game 6, but almost cost him in the early stages of Game 6. We'll see if it keeps going. Ryan, an air dribble, 50-50 with Lazy. UNCC trying to fight for another golden opportunity like they had to open up this game. It's going to be a while before they find another great chance like they just had.
You're definitely right, and those chances come few and far between for the UNC Charlotte offense, so it sucks to see such a solid offensive move just not come to a goal, and instead the slow corner play has been really solid from UNC Charlotte throughout each of the games, and Lazy able to get it past so many members of Purdue to try and start the offense up a little bit, but Ryan's so good in the air. His mechanics all series have been incredible, and he's able to carry it out of that Purdue half and start the offense up. But that's a great pass towards the middle. Knight trying to find that one on target. Instead, a great block from Enchanted as these possession these offensive possessions go back and forth.
Oh, Plane
Wow.
using all of that Esper to get that ball far side. Perfectly placed shot. I knew he was going to shoot that as soon as Knight missed the bump or whatever he was trying to do to zone Plane off. And then Julio Plutio not finding a great touch right there. That is going to give a Purdue offense, as fast as they are, an opportunity to shoot. And Plane hit his mark. The Esper, I mean, I don't think I could place a ball that perfectly in that type of car.
No, why is he scoring all these fantastic goals with these terrible cars? It's honestly impressive that he has scored in both these games using the off-meta car picks. But like you said, that was so well placed, and Purdue ever the quick offense to find their opportunity off the back of maybe a missed touch, maybe a missed bump from the side of Knight. But either way, they're going to strike first like they have in every single series or game in the series so far, as Coolio trying to drop one in from the absolute ceiling. Knight's going to pass this one right back to Lazy, but Ryan's going to cut things off. Purdue always able to find exactly where UNC Charlotte's trying to pass and make sure, and it does not come through.
Knight and Lazy both went for that ball, and Plane wins the 50-50. UNCC should be able to get back in time. I don't think anybody was expecting that to be the outcome of that UNCC defensive committal, but it results in a lack of possession for them. They're still fighting from their back line, looking for clears out. That's a strong one. Knight down the pitch, taking that clear from Julio Plutio and trying to do more with it in the corner. Purdue has been solid at getting back in transition, back in their corner, back to their goal line, wherever they have to be to stop whatever UNCC is throwing their way in counterattack mode. And with 90 seconds left, I fully expect UNCC to throw a whole lot more towards that Purdue net as their death timer ticks down.
Yeah, they've done a great job to only allow Purdue only so much offense in this one. Unfortunately, they are playing for behind yet again, but offensively, I cannot believe that went in. Are you kidding me?
I don't know. Well, we'll see again in the replay if that actually just happened. I don't know how Julio Plutio just scored that. What?
I was in the middle of a sentence because I expected a pass. There's no way that goes in. I don't think I've ever seen the Dominants do that in all my 2,000 hours of Rocket League. Plus, I can't believe that goes in. That's ridiculous to even things back up. And now only a minute left leaves UNC Charlotte with a huge opportunity to send this to a final game.
Oh man, Game 7 peeking its head over the horizon here, but UNCC needs one more goal. If that's going to be the case, and that could be it. Knight's just beating the last man. Ryan has to rush back to make sure that isn't an open net for UNCC. This might still be, but Plane back in time. Playing hero for Purdue in the waning moments of Game 6. Now, an opportunity to shoot. Ryan puts that on target-ish. I don't think it actually was on target, but Lazy had the touch regardless. UNCC using Knight to fake Purdue off, bump Purdue off now. Julio Plutio down to Knight. The pre-flip pops the ball straight up. And now Purdue a passing play of their own to try and break out, intercepted by UNCC. Still an opportunity for Purdue to take the lead late. Lazy beats the first man in the midfield. Julio Plutio follows it up. That corner play from Purdue still pesky in the face of UNCC offense. They'll opt to clear the ball long and just chase that down, see what they can get, see if they can get this ball to overtime. But now Purdue, there's no one back in defense. Julio Plutio, one man to beat Ryan. They're in time. A diving save to get us to OT in Game 6.
UNC has had the clutch gene all series, but some heroic defensive plays from Purdue gives them a chance to close things out in a Game 6. What an intense final sequence we had there in regulation, but now with their series life on the line, UNC Charlotte has to find another overtime goal to take another game off Purdue. And it's going to start from the defensive end. Knight with the clearance, tries to find Julio, but it slows down there.
Where that Esper was being hunted. You can see the game plan for UNCC. It is track down Purdue's members in transition. See if you can get a player ahead of the play, hunting demos. See if you can get Knight space in the air to dunk Enchanted for the win. We're visiting Game 7 as UNCC has come from behind. And you want to talk about Rule 1 karma? I think Purdue's feeling that right now.
Man, it just a 50-50 on the goal line after such a slow beat in the air. It's been so dramatic, which has been crazy, is how dramatic these late games, or like these late game goals have been for UNCC. and proving yet again that when it has come down to it, they are the team that is able to drag it across the line, and they do it again, and this time pretty much against all momentum of the series, have found this in a Game 7. I can't believe that I just said that, but with one of the most ridiculous pinch goals I've seen ever, being the goal that takes it to OT, and then a very solid play from Knight to bring it across the line. That was a strange Game 6.
Yeah, I mean, to start off with that Coolio Pludio goal, I've never seen anything like that. That was the strangest. Like, he was very close to the goal, being on the near side, but still to find that ball in from that angle is insane. That will be appearing on the Mr. Bepic YouTube channel in a couple of days. I can promise you that right now. But Brody, we got Game 7. Like you said, I don't know how we got here, but we have got Game 7 between UNCC and Purdue, and I am ready for an absolute heater of a game.
Yeah, I call it beginner's luck. First time on Monday Night Lights getting such a dramatic and close series. Thanks boys for putting one on for me. I really appreciate it, and we're going to see finally what separates these two teams in a Game 7, and Purdue off the bat, always on offense, off that opening horn, yet again trying to take it to UNCC. But Knight with some good corner play clears it for now. Ryan flying across the field leaves things a little awkward defensively, but that touch, not exactly what they wanted to continue the offense. But Coolio being a nuisance yet again off the corner, leaves the ball slowly trickling down into the corner. Ryan bangs this one out, and now we might see a bit of a change of plans here for Purdue.
Let's see what those are. That's not what they wanted in store. Plane has switched back to the more traditional Fennec, even though he was doing work in those off-meta car picks. But UNCC, despite the Plane card change, is still going to be scoring first in Game 7 as Knight beats everybody. The woodwork was against Purdue's defense right there, and UNCC cleaned up.
Hey, better late than never is for UNCC to score the first goal of a game. They waited till Game 7, but this is exactly when they're gonna need it. And that was a great carry with the ball from Knight, like you said, and just leaves things too awkward for the Purdue defense to do anything about it. And now they might compound goals here. That's a great shot from Knight. Ryan with an excellent touch to get this thing away and give his team some time to regroup on the back wall.
Just a soft touch off the side. UNCC's playing monkey in the middle with the entirety of Purdue being in the middle at the moment. But Ryan has intercepted that ball and does set up Purdue now for a little bout of offense. See what they can do. They could use something to flip momentum back in their direction, because you could just feel the shift with UNCC being that team in control at the moment. The more creative in offense, the just better linked in the offensive zone. And in defense, there's not much that's getting through them right now with Coolio Pludio being upfield. It's nearly a transition from defense to the goal line of Purdue. But the Boilermakers, they find a way out. They slow things down. We'll see if they can establish themselves in the offensive zone.
I feel the energy shift as well, and I think so far it's manifested in the fact that it seems like UNC Charlotte has been able to do a lot more in the midfield so far. Purdue having to take a wider rotation to stop a lot of these really good shots coming from the midfield, and this time Purdue's offense is going to execute and even the game back up to 1-1. That's a great beat off of the inside post here. Lazy, just a bit of a light touch. Knight not able to properly read it, and Enchanted beats both of them. Ryan there to clean up the scraps, and we have a even game with just about halfway of the game remaining in Game 7.
That was a product of the play style change of UNCC right there, because Coolio ran upfield, and so Lazy and Knight were the last two back, and with Knight coming off the back wall, he's only getting one touch right there, but Lazy still commits, even with the Purdue player right in their face. And now Purdue starting to feel it a bit more. Enchanted going for some plays that we saw a whole lot of when Purdue was making it 3 games in a row a little bit earlier in this best of 7. The Boilermakers are getting going again. Enchanted, one more try. That one denied. Coolio Pludio had that ball about 50% of the way in before he scooped it out of danger, and we'll stay at 1 apiece.
Such a high-level offensive exchange. Purdue, mechanically in the air, have been so solid all series. I thought it might be another goal for them, but defensive heroics this time on the side of UNC Charlotte.
Nice touch.
Keep things even. Ryan finding another demo in rotation, trying to keep UNC Charlotte from mounting any sort of suffocating offense. And that's a good demo, but they clear it out of their side so efficiently yet again. And now you got 2 players on this near side corner that can make plays together. All 3 of them now kind of stacking up a little bit, but they retain possession.
Ryan, just one touch here is going to give it possession. UNC Charlotte right there by way of Knight, 50ing the ball through 2 Purdue defenders and still finding one last touch off the ceiling. Blaine is prepared for it, and we'll put that ball deep into UNCC territory, but Knight getting demoed and Lazy finding a demo makes Purdue's defensive structure a little awkward now. Lazy stepping up, popping up, going after Purdue's goal line himself, but playing a nice 50-50 win off his back wall. Will stave off that UNCC attack for now.
Yeah, he got 2 players in the air, which means his teammates had some time to read exactly where that 50 was going, and now we have a prolonged UNC Charlotte attack for now. That's a great speed from Plain. He beats another one, and now Ryan has a lot to do from the corner. Trying to beat a couple players. Knight's going to pick it up off the top of his car, and now they've slowed things down a little bit. This is how they might get the clear. Instead, Plain off the ceiling, and a demo from Enchanted leaves Ryan a free reign on the goal, but a great save off that far post from Knight. But it's not over yet.
It's nice.
Purdue players still lurking around.
That was a great pass, trying that at defense, but it doesn't quite work exactly how UNCC intended it. Purdue is allowed to keep playing their offense, keep taking shots that are hard struck, but not quite on target. 1v1 here, Coolio Plutio trying to get the ball past the first, and he keeps possession, but is bumped off the rock eventually. 0 seconds, the ball stays on the ground, and Brody, beginner's lucky indeed. You get a Game 7 overtime in your first Monday Night Lights series.
That is absolutely ridiculous. And so far, the Purdue record in OT is not looking good, especially in a Game 7 when this is absolutely what is going to decide the rest of the series. UNC Charlotte has won both overtimes in this series so far, but this game has stayed deadlocked for so long. We've basically played the last 3 minutes, not seeing any action when it comes to goals, and now UNC Charlotte maybe can hit the three-peat and win all 3 OT games to bring this series across the line, and that's a really good touch from Coolio to start the counterattack going for UNC Charlotte.
Oh, it's in!
No way!
It's just in!
He stays in the area, and it's gonna... The 50 goes directly onto his car off the save. That's crazy from Knight to stay within the danger area, and it's gonna fall directly on top of his car to pop that one. UNC Charlotte, an unlikely winner, if you ask me, in terms of how well Purdue played this series, but they were so good at winning games, and that's all it comes down to. They managed to pull so many games that looked not in their favor across the line, and they take it in Game 7. Wow. What a series.
Unbelievable. I love as well, Knight dropped Rule 1 in the chat before the game was completely over after the replay played. Because, like, I'm not a big believer in the whole Rule 1 karma thing. It's a fun thing to joke about, but after that Rule 1 was broken in the corner for Purdue, their fortunes just kind of shifted.
Yeah, it is stuff like that that makes you believe a little stronger, you know? That is ridiculous that after the Rule 1 broke, you're right, things started to shift, and Game 7 felt like a complete anomaly in terms of the way the game played out, considering how well Purdue executed offense in the air or not. They were able to bring these prolonged attacks to UNC throughout most of the games before 7. In that game, things kind of flipped on their head.
Yeah. Wow, what a series. That was a lot of fun. Brody, thanks for joining me, man. I got to kick you out, unfortunately, because it's 7 Central, so I got to move on to my next series, because that one took up every single possible second it possibly could have, going to Game 7 OT, but that was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed that as well.
I did. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Purdue and UNC Charlotte, for giving us an excellent series, and everyone stay tuned because the games are going to stay crazy, I bet. They're going to stay
Absolutely.
This good.
We got Robert Morris and Georgia State coming up next. Should be another phenomenal series on Monday Night Lights. So make sure you stay tuned as we're going to take a short break as I collect myself after that intense one. But MNL9 will be right back after our short break screen. We'll see you then.